Welcome back, friends. It's the Soul Material Podcast, the podcast you cheer for, the channel you cheer for, and it's T Mark the Street Shark.
And your man, the OGEO. Welcome once again.
All right, we're back for another action-packed episode. Give me that sneaker business talk. All right, even that clarity over popularity, only like the Soul Material crew can give you. All right, so just let's dive in. This time we're just continuing more stories in footwear news, retail news, and there's another acquisition that has been had. We got JD Sports. They've done it again. They've now acquired Hibbett Sports. All right. Hibbett Sports is now under the portfolio of JD Sports. We've talked about how they acquired DTLR, about over a year ago. And then also their merger with Finish Line. They've had so many different other acquisitions over time. So this one was unique because, we've had the DTLR partner with Sneaker Villa. And then now, if you know your history, you know that Hibbett Sports acquired City Gear probably about 2018 when it happened, for about 6 years ago. So again, just look at the the depth of and the reach that this type of acquisition does, and they're continuing the pattern for overseas company to come in and just keep establishing their footprint throughout the United States. And I think there's over almost 1,200 stores nationwide, especially in the South and Midwest. So just wanted to show Hibbett Sports some homage, give them their own episode, just because we like Hibbett Sports. And you know that we like Hibbett Sports because we've told you all about them through our Art of Acquisition series, because they have plenty of deals, and there's always discounts, and it's 20% off every month, and then seems like every 5 weeks is 25% off, and if you actually get to go to a store, there's so much more that you can acquire for some of the best deals. So some of that been some of our best flip deals have come from Hibbett Sports. So so just wanted to give you some story time. A couple acquisitions, whether recent or from the past, and just show homage and give you that nostalgia for Hibbett Sports. So I'm gonna kick it to the OG and tell us about some retail tales of Hibbett Sports.
Definitely. Well, if you had the privilege of being anywhere down south, particularly in Virginia, North Carolina, where you actually had to go or was able to go in store, um, you know the deals and the steals and sometimes the giveaways, because a lot of the things they'll have online will be
Yep.
discounted even more in the store. And you were able, with their rewards program, to build up your points and so forth, and use your $20. Sometimes they will have instances where they will have you, or they will allow you to double up on some things. So, Shark, I can tell you probably a third of my most recent Mitchell and Ness jersey purchase came from Hibbett Sports, because particularly once, unfortunately, the passing of Kobe and so forth, and they started to produce those a whole lot more, Hibbett Sports became the spot to get your jerseys. And they will have Mitchell and Ness Authentics on sale. Then on top of whatever discount they have or in-store promotions, then you can use your reward program as well. So they were really good for letting you double dip and then still gain points as you use them. So a lot of reward programs say, hey, use these points. You can't double dip on actually gaining points while you're using points. So they will let you do that. So they knew how to keep a customer to keep coming and coming and coming. And I can tell you, shout out to RIP to Northgate Mall, right in Durham. That Hibbert, man, you talking about Flip City. You'll walk in there and walk into 3 or 4 things easily every time, and could easily make a $300, total after fees if you knew what you were looking at. And that was me going to Carolina. Every single time I went, I would stop on 85 and I would see 2 or 3 things. I was like, I'm spending $100 on these 2, 3 things. Like, no problem. Like, this is go on StockX, go on eBay. This is easy. Like, this could sit until it sells for retail, because they give it to me for 80% off. So that's how it was. But I remember the Hibbett Sports that was in Richmond, and I'm a huge fan of the Nike Shox just a point in time in my life where that Boeing was out. I was working at Foot Locker. We had the display with the shock Boeings on top of the shoe, and it would make the sound effect when you walk past it, and it's just a nostalgia for me. And when they made the colorway initially to give homage to Vince Carter, I had to get them. And I know eventually ended up going on sale because it wasn't the fanfare or the popularity. They didn't get hyped up. But I remember getting these the first day they dropped at Hibbett Sports. And after all of my discounts and everything, they were $70 and it retailed for $170. So, of course, what got me was they never did a colorway to actually give homage to Vince. And this was the Raptors away colorway, and they did the reflective. I'm not sure if you can see reflective, but they had the Raptor claws, if you will, just like the jersey. And I thought they did an excellent job on these with the color placement overall. And I was at a point where I didn't care about height. This was 4 years ago, so this was right, during pandemic time, and also giving Hibbett much credit because they were one of the few stores, particularly down south, that stayed open even during the pandemic. Now, they had it in which they allowed 2-3 people in there. You had to make sure you were disinfected and sanitized and so forth. But during the pandemic, particularly in Norfolk, Virginia, parts of North Carolina, parts of Richmond, Virginia, the store stayed open. It was limited hours, limited days, but you could still shop. And as me and the Shark talked about before, people weren't shopping that much. So the prices were dipping and dipping and dipping, and you had steals galore. And it was also away from a mental, psychological standpoint. Just go outside, be able to shop somewhere. So shout out to Hibbett for doing that for us in VA during that time. But again, still for me, getting something the first day and then being able to use a discount. And of course, Hibbett was always a place for just steals. So anyone like the Shark and I that do art acquisitions, we always just looking for stuff. Not saying we need it, but it's like that's too good to pass up on. So I remember getting these for literally $9.99, and it was tax-free weekend, so it was $9.99. And of course, black and yellow. You think about Wu-Tang, but the quality of these Vans, man, were awesome. The Condora fabric joints, and it's just something cheap, something to get. And I'm a Batman fan too, so get my Batman T-shirt, rock these, and you got an outfit for $20. You know what I mean? So just stuff like that, man. I really admired about Hibbett, and I hope with the acquisition of JD, they'll keep their rewards going and keep that fanfare going because anyone that's from the South knows that they expanded a whole lot. So if you're in any kind of shopping center where you'll see a downtown locker room or you think you'll see one, you'll usually see a Hibbett there as well. So they were infiltrating a whole lot of areas. And I'm going to see what happens with the acquisition.
And especially those Hibbets on the street stores, not necessarily the mall or anchors, you might find a Ross or a Marshalls nearby as well. That was part of the strategy as well. So you'll see those from time to time. So yeah, and just to piggyback on one thing too, because I definitely took advantage of the Mitchell and Ness. It's just like that's like the $20 to $40 special, and you get the. Not even just the swingman shorts, because I collect all the swingman shorts. But then they'll mark down the authentic stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And then so the $300 joints end up being, especially when they started doing more of the college ones. Man, with the double mesh and some of those shorts would still get down to the same price as the other ones for $39.99, and or it'll be $49.59, and then you get the extra 25% off sale apparel, and then all of a sudden it's just like, come on, you're just like giving this stuff away at this point. Yeah, man, half of like almost everything I have, there's Georgetown, Michigan, and North Carolina. I never paid more than $40 for, like no matter what it was. So yeah, just shout out to the Michelin Ness section of Hibbett. And we talked about like the Kobe and when the shooting shirts when they came back a little bit. I just missed the window on that particular one because I waited a little too long because I wanted to get them, and then after he passed away, but those things were just getting marked down so much. But then if you had the luck of actually I didn't have this because I wasn't living that far south. But you could walk in the store and just see a whole rack of them things just sitting there, and you're just like scratching your head, like, I wish, it's almost like the internet didn't exist. You know what I mean? But they do fulfill their 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 stock through their stores as well. So if you ever bought something on crazy sale, it might come with a store receipt tape or something inside of it, and then you'll know. So that was the only thing I had to return something like once or twice because I was like, this came from the store, and I could tell that someone tried it on. But other than that, I kept it moving. So just wanted to share one. This is more of a recent pickup from Hibbett, but it was still a $60 shoe that was on sale. And then you got to stack your rewards as well. Get those birthday coupons, and then always stack the rebates as well, if possible. Hibbett didn't always have rebates for a while, but they have so many stacked discounts. It's not even funny. So they just want to make sure that you're constantly engaged. So these are New Balance, so you always find the brands, you still find great Nike and deals or whatever, LeBron signatures, but it's you gotta, this is what we talk about in all that. You gotta go below the surface. We're real sneakerheads over here, so we're always acquiring all types of brands. So we got New Balance. This is the two-way Volume 3. This is probably my favorite of the two-way series from New Balance. All right, and this was actually the original color. So I just waited it out. I think this was funky. They had the end with the wraparound over here. This has this, two-way logo on the tongue. This actually gives me NERD, brain vibes over here. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Two up, two down, still doing the VA thing. You know what I'm saying? Got some New Balance action on the tongue, on heel tab over here. I just love the details. Like, look at all the details. Like, the materials are here are great. I already tried these on. These are comfortable. This would be an alternate shoe that I would ball in as well. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jamal Murray was rocking these in the championship run last year. And this is just classic love that highlighted pink with the blue. You know what I'm saying? And then as you can see, a little iridescent action going on over there. So $60 shoe. Hey, this is what we do. Yeah, we definitely wasn't paying the 130, 140, or whatever this retail shoe is. You see a lot of New Balance guys rocking the two-way version, but again, there's been three of them so far, and this one was my favorite. So put them on the wish list and just watch the price keep going down, down, down. All
Tip,
right,
tip.
yeah. So that's it. You heard us talk about that. Telling you again. There you go. Hibbett Sports special. And there's just so many deals, and we could go on all day about sneaker deals, but they're big for apparel, and especially since they emerged with City Gear years ago, they would pick up some of the urban brands, and you had to like search some of it, all
Yep.
right, on the site. Even if you went to the list of brands, they all weren't listed there, So if you bought like Staple, Pigeon, as an example, like that wasn't listed on the brands, but if you search it, you find a ton of it. I actually bought like a sweatsuit there, and that was one of those. Like I think I don't know if I might have paid $50 for the whole, like everything. You know what I'm saying? For the top and the bottom and a shirt. And I might have done that with Puma. I think I did that with Puma. They had some of the Black 5 collection, and then that got marked down. So you're getting the whole sweatsuit, you know what I'm saying, for $50. Like that's what we doing. That's what we like doing over here at the Soul Material Podcast. That's clarity over popularity, right there. So that's why we do what we do. But again, we just wanted to show homage to Hibbett Sports. It's definitely been at one point in time it was like a sleeper, like shh, don't tell everybody, like don't flood the site. Some of their new releases they just go quick anyway, or sometimes they don't even bother putting, you know, the stuff online, like it's more for you to go in the store and get it when it comes out. So Hibbett was always great for just monitoring stuff and just getting the deals. They're like top three for me go-to sites to just always just check on your wish list and see what's going on. And then guess what else? Just like Nike site and a couple other sites that we tell you about, don't get scared if the sizes go away because they come back. They come
Indeed.
back. So continue to be patient. All right, that's why you saved it in your wish list, and you don't erase it after they're gone. Like make sure it's gone, and it's like totally grayed out, and it just doesn't exist. All the sizes are gone, because your size will pop back up from time to time. Because I've noticed that when there's certain sales, some sizes go away quicker, and then as soon as the sale is over, it magically pops back up. So the last thing I'll say too, before I kick it back to you for any final thoughts, another great asset to Hibbett was that it was one of those sites that if you played with the inventory and then just adding to cart, it'll tell you how many they have.
Hey, there you go.
So
I remember
sometimes
that.
that'll tell you how long you need to be patient because then you'll add 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's only 4. Oh, whoa. Oh, I gotta pay attention. But when you add it and you get to 10 and then you start changing numbers to 30, 40, 50, 90, and then you're like, man, I'll see you later. If I can add all of this to cart, like you were saying earlier, they just let you add a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah. So give us some final thoughts, OG, just from about Hibbett, your experience, or any other tips for our viewers
Yeah, the
and
key
listeners.
things we haven't discussed at all that I know you're on, Tony. When you go into the store, they were just epic on having a clearance rack at all the time with certain shoes and with apparel. And like the shark said, you wait a few weeks, it'll be, in the window, and it'll convert right to the clearance rack. And the deals they will have on the clearance rack will be very similar to what Nike would do, where they'll have a sign saying it's 20% off, 40% off, sometimes 60% off. And at that point, again, they're giving stuff away. So right now, during this time, you'll see a lot of hoodies, you'll see a lot of long sleeve stuff, 60, 80% off. So you can walk out of it with a wardrobe paying like 40 or 50 bucks. Or you can say, hey, I throw stuff on eBay for retail and just let it sit until it's gone. And they were just great for that. And also, we got hash walls at the Nike outlet. They had their own version that they would have the tables out there. And I can tell you, it was so many shoes that just sat. I remember the Kobe 6s, the Kobe 7s, and the Kobe 8s somehow hit that table. I remember there were a few Kanye West shoes that hit the table. And I'm not talking about some random size 8 and size 14. No, I'm talking about like legitimate sizes. So just being in the streets, Hibbett kept you motivated to keep your art acquisition going. So shout out to them for continuing to do that. And again, hopefully with JD now taking over, they'll still keep the benefits that they have, keep the employees, and keep it rolling. But to kick back to you real quick, Shark, is there any other company that you know of that JD can acquire now? Because they then took everybody, or everyone's gone out of business, one of the two outside of Foot Locker.
I mean, because they've gotten more into that grassroots. I mean, other than their merger and getting Finish Line, that was the big. I don't think Foot Locker's a little too big for them to actually go roll underneath anybody else. They've already kind of got rid of their arms with the Nike stuff so that
Understood.
they could do more of their own stuff. So, but to specifically ask your question, I don't think that there's anyone that has a footprint anymore that hasn't already gotten acquired, right? They'd have to go to the West Coast and go get Chic
Yep.
or Shoe Palace.
Yep.
Chic's more Midwest, my bad. Chic's more Midwest, but Shoe Palace, they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go catch somebody that has done what has happened here on the East Coast and then got to the Midwest. They're gonna have to go West Coast. So I'd say, hey, look out, Shoe Palace, JD Sports, might be already looking at you for real. But I always looked at Shoe Palace as kind of not the detail R, but more the sneaker villa of they're more
West.
sneaker villa Jimmy Jazz for the West Coast. And I'm saying that based on how they do collaborations for the most part. You know, they buy almost the same stuff, but for a retailer, there's a certain way you do a collaboration that's like a little above boutique level, and that's what something good that DTLR does that Sneaker Village, I think you didn't really do it more, and you did it more under the imprint of DTLR. Shout out to June Sanders for all the work that he does in the collaboration. But then you look at Jimmy Jazz and what they did, and you see how Jimmy Jazz kind of
Now
fizzled.
snipes or snips or whatever they call it.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, the merge, and then you see Jimmy Jazz just fade out, and then it's snipes all over the place. There's more snipes than popped up. There's more new snipes in the DMV area than anything else, and that was Jimmy Jazz. And you know that there wasn't that many Jimmy Jazzes, but so many. And you know what they look like. They're at PG and it was at Iverson, and then that's it. So yep. So yeah, to wrap that part up, yeah, future. Look at the West Coast. What's happening over there? And Shoe Palace, and any other whatever subsidiary that they have, or rolling under. That might be the next move. But I think they got the East Coast wrapped up now. From in the South and the Midwest, you know, because they can go. It's more Memphis because like City Gear was Memphis based, and Hibbett is Alabama. Their headquarters are in Alabama. So just pushing them down, and going down to more Texas. You got to skip like St. Louis. They're not like Chicago that much, but St. Louis, and then you go down to, Texas and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely, just wanted to, again, spark up that nostalgia, and just remind you all, who Hibbett Sports, really is. JD Sports has a track record of kind of just not breaking things that aren't broken, in their acquisition. So we hope that everything continues the way that it is. You can, catch those deals, and then you'll hit us up and tell us about what you copped in your order acquisition when you come in and leave comments on our social media pages, on the YouTube page. We love hearing about that stuff, and staying engaged with our audience. So appreciate everyone for tuning in to another episode from the Soul Material Podcast you cheer for, channel you cheer for. So signing off this time, it's T. Mark the Street Shark.
And your man, the OGEO. Until next time, peace to you.
Sneaker business talk. It's the Soul Material Podcast.